Dear Father in heaven, thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for the rain. Lord, thank you for Christmas. It's coming up here pretty quick. And so, Lord, we just ask that everybody that's listening would be able to be with their families, would find some peace, and would remember what this holiday is actually all about, and that we're celebrating you and what you've done for us in this world. Lord, be with us today with Jim and I as we talk about what it is to be a leader and how we can be more authentic in the way that we lead and lead like you. Lord, thank you for all the blessings. Thank you for life. And we just dedicate this to you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Oh boy, it's time for another episode of Tribe Talk. How's it going, Mike?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good too. I like that you prayed for the rain. It's cold rain.
Yes.
This time of year here in Florida, but I love it because it brings us inside and helps us connect with people maybe we don't always get to.
Yeah, there's actually part of me that kind of wishes it would have held out for Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Because you don't have anywhere to go. At least I don't. It's just nice to kind of be in the house with the family and hanging out.
Well, you never know. It might rain that day too.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll is see. Florida. Yeah, I've got 3 of my 4 kids home, and the fourth one that was born of Marian blood gets home on Monday.
Nice.
And my daughter's fiance gets here on Saturday. So really, all the kids will be under one roof.
That's cool.
Here in about 3 days. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those days are probably not going to be as easy to do as time goes on. So
yeah, that's true.
You gotta.
Speaking of kids. All right. Silence that.
Yeah, we got the phone ringing.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That is, I mean, she must have heard us podcasting about her. That was my fourth.
Yeah, it's
my
okay.
oldest Maddie, who's not here yet. So, All right. Well, there you go. There's our mistake number 1. We're semi-pros. So
yeah, we don't care.
Hang with us.
That's right.
Yeah. So we're talking about leadership today.
Yep.
My groups have been through this discussion.
Yep.
And all right. So first of all, I do have a cool Christmas tradition that I'm going to start this year as a result of the conversation with my guys.
Okay.
So talking about, manly leadership and what that looks like, trying to teach my son what that looks like, trying to learn myself how to do it better since I don't do it perfectly. One of the things I want to do this year, I've asked my son, and I'm going to ask my son-in-law to do it with us, is we're going to start a tradition of the men reading the Christmas story out of the Gospels on Christmas Eve.
That is super cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. If you got any suggestions, I'll take it. But because I do want it to be impactful, meaningful, maybe a little entertaining for the ladies, but that's something we're going to do. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
I asked James. He was pretty pumped about it too. So
yeah, well, that's even better.
Yeah, exactly right. So let's just kick it off with a quick general question, Mike.
Yep.
Who's someone you respect as a leader? Like who's somebody that you look to as an example of what a good godly leader is, and why do you feel that way about him?
Man, I've been around a lot of leaders throughout my life, whether in the military or if it's in working in collegiate athletics, growing up, all the different things. And the leaders in my life have come in different colors, different genders, different all of it. One of my favorite leaders of all time I would have to say would be my grandma.
I knew you were going to say that. That's awesome.
Yeah, she was pretty amazing. And she just, there was something about grandma that there was just love in her heart. And, she just cared about people. She didn't understand why people acted a certain way, but she was just amazing. And I got to tell you this quick story. When I was in high school, my buddy and I drove. So I'm from farm country, and so we drove from one farm town to where my grandma was at in a different farm town. And he drove, and we had to take his car in to get it worked on. And so I asked my grandma, who was working downtown at the time. I said, "Hey, can we borrow your truck?" And she said, "Yeah." So I did. And I did something really stupid. I ended up actually shoplifting that day and got caught.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
Michael Sanders.
I know.
Okay.
I got caught, and so they took me to the police station and, scared the living heck out of me. And I'm telling you, man, that was enough.
Did they put you in Gen Pop?
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. What is that?
General population? Did you have to beat somebody up to prove your dominance?
No, they didn't do that.
How old were you again?
I was 16.
Oh, man.
16, I think. 16 or 17.
That would have scared me.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
And it was the year that the San Francisco 49ers won the Super Bowl, because I remember they had a Sports Illustrated sitting on the bench in there, and then the toilet was like right by the door, and I remember thinking, I'm never ever going to the bathroom again. And anyway, I had to wait for my dad to come and get me, and so he came and got me, and that was scary enough as it is. And seeing my dad made me never ever want to steal anything ever again. And but the point is, I had to take my truck, or my grandma's truck, back to her at work. And when I walked in, Grandma was standing there waiting for me. And I mean, I am absolutely defeated. Like I just feel awful. I have hurt my dad in terrible ways. And I walk in, and now I've got to tell my grandma, hey, the reason why your truck has been gone for longer than I said it was going to be gone is because I've been in jail. And
you're like, you can't unsee what these eyes have seen, Grandma.
That's exactly right.
You don't know what it's like to be on the inside.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
And by the time when I walked in, I drop her truck off. I walk in, Grandma's standing there, and Dad had already gotten in to explain what had happened. And she looks at me and she goes, Michael, if you didn't have enough money, why didn't you just ask me? I'm like, Grandma, can I come home with you and not with my dad? Because that's not how it's going to go when I get home.
Yeah. She's like, no, you have earthly consequences for your earthly decisions.
Yeah. But that's the love that she had, for me. And so anyway, I would say, sorry, that was a long story, but my grandma's one of my favorite of
that
all
was
time.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, so we watch a video that Simon Sinek put out. It was a TED Talk. And the title of it is Why Leaders Make Their People Feel Safe. And man, you use your grandmother as an example. Yes. I can't think of a role or a relationship that makes people feel safe more than the grandma.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is that's really what we should be doing as leaders, is we should be in a situation where we're doing everything we can to make the people that work for us or work with us feel safe. And one of the things that we talk about is effective leaders are masters at working with imperfect humans. We have to remember that they're not perfect. And grandma, when I walked in that day, Grandma knew that I wasn't perfect. Yeah. And she forgave me before I even got started. Before she even saw me, she was already had forgiveness in her heart and felt horrible for me. Right. And so we have to remember that we when we're leading, we're leading imperfect people.
Yeah, I think. So you actually wrote that in your book too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It was on page 158 for those following along. It says the central challenge of leadership is guiding teams of imperfect humans towards a meaningful purpose.
That's right.
So not surprised at all that came up at the end of your story. But so kind of explain that concept. Why is that important for leadership to grasp that reality?
Yeah. So you brought up you asked me who are some of my favorite leaders. One of my favorite leaders is Ben Franklin. If we look at this from a historical standpoint, and one of the things I read about him in an autobiography is what was the guy's name? It was Burke, I believe his name was something like Edmund S. Morgan. That's not Burke, by the way.
No, not even close.
That's right. Okay, so Edmund Morgan, he said about Franklin, he said that his approach to leadership was like this. He did it with recognition of their human strengths and weaknesses, as well as his own, in a spirit that another wise man in another century called the spirit which is not too sure it is right. It is a spirit that weakens the weak and strengthens the strong. So as we talked about, the central challenge of leadership is guiding teams that are imperfect humans, and then helping them find and move towards a meaningful purpose. And sometimes that can be scary.
There's that word again, though, purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know how we feel about purpose here at Junto Tribe Ministries.
That's right.
That men need to understand what their purpose is. And just for recap, we believe that we all have the same purpose.
Yes.
Which is it's the Great Commission. It's to usher souls and usher heaven to earth.
Yes.
Right. So, man, how do you tie that in to leadership then?
Perfect. So this idea of bringing heaven to earth, and we talked about it a little bit in the craftsman chapter. When I create, I'm actually taking something that I have and I'm giving it away to make the world a better place. So see how all this stuff is interdependent. They can't be separated. At some point, they're still connected. So this idea then of a meaningful purpose, and then looking for that. The idea is I'm trying to make the world a better place. The world is full of people. So the things that I create, the things we do in our job, I'm serving people, going back to the servant chapter.
Yep.
I'm serving people. And the idea is that I can still do that. The mission is the employment that I have, but it still can tie back to the purpose, which is bringing heaven to earth. So everything I do, as long as I'm trying to make other people's lives better, the services that I give, then I'm actually tying back to the purpose.
Yeah. I think at the heart of every man too is this childlike desire to ask the question why.
Yes.
Right. So you tell your kids, hey, go do this. Why?
Yes.
Because I said so.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. That's not good enough for me. Mm-hmm. Same in the work environment or in church or in your family. People want to understand why. So that concept of taking imperfect people and driving them towards a specific purpose, the purpose is where you start.
Yes.
And if everybody's got the same purpose in mind, it's a lot easier to lead them towards where they're going.
Yeah. So I have on my staff, for example, and this is my actual job that I have, is I've got physical therapists, I've got athletic trainers, I've got dietitians, strength conditioning coaches, cognitive performance people. I have all those individuals on my staff. So what I do is I don't necessarily tell them, hey, do this. The idea is to create a culture and ask them to create something that will help the soldiers that we work with. So if you can get in line with that, I'll protect you. I will help you. I will do whatever I can. But the idea is I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I can give guidance on what it is we're trying to do and look, is that working or is it not working? But the idea is that that's what we're doing. We're trying to serve the people that we're around.
Well, I think good leaders empower people.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm getting at. Yes,
yeah.
empower
So
people.
you know where we're going. I'm not going to tell you how to get there.
That's right.
I need you to just go. Mm-hmm. And I hired you, or you're a part of this group or this team for your unique gifts.
That's exactly right.
So go use those babies. Don't let me stifle them.
Yeah. And I learned that from our head hockey coach years ago. I remember him telling me one day, he said, we hire people for a reason. Mm-hmm. And if we hire correctly, and if we do it in the right way, then I should be in a situation where I can just, as the leader, just step back and let you do your job. I should trust you to be able to do that. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be completely disconnected. No, I mean, this is part of what I do. This is what we're doing. We're a team here. But the idea again is to create something here that we can give away to make other people's lives better.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I teach young aviators how to fly.
Yep.
And one of the things we have on our airplane now is a thing called data link, where you can make a phone call from the airplane anywhere in the world using satellite.
That's crazy.
It's great connectivity. And there's never a reason not to get your questions answered if you are confronted with a challenge on the road. Right.
Yep.
And so I tell them, hey, use that thing. Call back to your mission commander if you need to. But I always give them a warning. Be careful how much authority you give to the person on the other end of the line, because you are tasked with and trusted to go make these decisions for your crew when you're operating on the road. If you continuously call home and ask your mission commander the solution to all your problems, they're going to start giving you answers.
Yes.
And now you're no longer flying your airplane, somebody else's.
That's great.
Yeah. And so I think it's incumbent on leaders to challenge their people to make decisions at the lowest level.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to get to this in a minute, but my favorite leadership style, but that's the idea is that we should empower people. We should.
Yes.
And first of all, they're learning in the process, and then we're learning, and we need to allow them to.
Yeah.
And, I even think about my kids. I mean, my 12-year-old, she Wait, yeah, 12. Yes. I'm trying.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not going to ask your anniversary next. Yeah.
Don't let her listen to this podcast.
You got it.
Well, she's turning 13 in like a month or two.
There you
So
go.
anyway, but the idea is that we have to, she can even lead me. I mean, there's times when she teaches me stuff and she'll say something. I'm like, oh my goodness. So everybody can lead. And I think we should empower people to do so.
Yeah. You're alluding to our concept of 360-degree leadership.
Yes.
So why not, instead of alluding to it, explain it.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Yeah, so this was a concept I stole from a guy by the name of John Maxwell, who is a leader in leadership. Isn't that crazy how that works? Yeah, so I tried to put that in the book, but the editor took that joke out. But anyway.
Well, it's like being a king of kings.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, I see what you're
Similar
putting down.
concepts,
I see what you're putting down.
Yeah.
But anyway, so John Maxwell talks about this, that he believes in something called 360-degree leadership. And that means basically wherever you are on a staff or in a family or whatever it is, everybody there can lead in some way, shape, or form. So in other words, as a leader, I can lead down or I can lead across. And almost everybody has a boss at some points, or I can lead up, and everybody in that connection of a staff or family can do the same thing. So we all can lead up, we can lead across, we can lead down. And I think that's just an amazing way that we should live our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I think far too often you hear the word leadership and the first thing you think of is the boss, the top of the organization.
Yep.
There's your leader.
Yep.
But what we're suggesting is that you, just like you said, you do have to lead your subordinates.
Yes.
Your subordinates sometimes need to lead the leaders.
Yes.
Meaning they've got the technical expertise. They've got to provide any form of leadership possible in order to keep marching towards a purpose, right?
Yep.
And then, of course, there are natural leaders that will kind of jump out or make themselves prominent when you talk about peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
Right? And you do have the ability to lead within your peer group.
Yep.
Now, the style you use might have to change for each of those relationships, but we do need to look for opportunities to lead in all of those relationships. Yeah,
Absolutely. Totally agree.
That's pretty cool.
And the other thing is that leadership, we are talking about broken human beings, and we're trying to do the best we can. And we see plenty of times in, and maybe I'm jumping ahead too far, and if I am, you can just pull me back. But we see plenty of times in history where you had great leaders that did amazing good things, and then you had great leaders that did awful things. So you look at Abraham Lincoln. I would call him a great leader that did great things. Was he perfect? No. Hitler, on the other hand, was a great leader, and he was able to get people to follow him. However,
I like to use the word effective.
Yeah.
He was an effective leader. I wouldn't call him great.
Well, but you know what I'm saying is that it comes back to he was effective at what he was trying to do, and he got people to follow him, which means he was a leader that people got behind, but he did awful, terrible, awful things. So my point is that leadership is a very, very powerful idea and concept, and that means then that we have to be lined up with God's heart in order to make sure that we get it right.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And it certainly goes back to making people feel safe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think back to the leaders in my life that were super effective, and a couple come to mind. In my military career, I had the privilege of working for some men that were true bulletproof vests for their people.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Meaning they would put us out in front to receive accolades, and they would just kind of stand nearby. Mm-hmm. And if one guy in particular, his name was Colonel Bob Bradford. I worked for him at SOCOM, and he was a master at, like, if there was ever a chance to brief a general officer, he wanted me to do it.
That's cool.
And he would sit next to me, and he would be quiet and still. But if he saw me floundering a little bit, he would inject just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Never enough to take over my responsibilities, but enough to provide some cover and some clarity. And then he would immediately give it right back to me.
Yeah. Now,
a poor leader is going to just take it from you. You go, hey, I'll take it from here. You failed. I got this. and try and save the day. But he was just so good at trying to make us look good.
Yes.
I got a couple other friends in mind that I got to work for, Nate Green and Keith Charette. They were masters at putting their people out front and making them feel protected no matter what. Like, hey, I'm going to put you up for this stuff. These are great opportunities, but I've got your back and I know you can do it.
Yeah.
And when we failed, they never made us feel like dirt for it. They tried to treat everything as a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that.
Yeah.
So that you just, as I was listening to you, it reminds me, I remember when I started working in the military, I briefed a whole bunch of SEALs on this program that we were trying to start, which is brand new, that no one really exactly knew what it was. And our commander of the whole command shows up and sits in the front row. And I wasn't that scared, having him there. And it was such an amazing, his name is, I suppose it's okay for me to say it. Van Hoosier was his name. And I briefed the guys, and this is what we're doing, and this is how this works, all this kind of stuff. And then I got done, and all the guys leave, and I'm up on stage, and I'm packing up and getting everything ready to go. And he comes and sits on the edge of the stage, and he says, "Hey, come here, sit down with me." And dude, there was nothing scary at all about it. It was like I was sitting down with my grandpa. It was just such an amazing experience. And he's got a list out, and he's getting ready to give me some guidance. And he goes, "This is what you did really well today." And he explained everything that I did really well. And he said, "These are some things that you can do better next time to explain yourself better." And I think that's a leader that is, and I'll never forget that. And I've taken it with me, through my life. And it just was so impactful to me that this guy took time to not just listen to me, but then tell me, this is what you did well, and this is what you can do better next time.
Well, he's looking at the whole man. So
I know.
He was trying to notice the good too.
Yes.
Like he made an effort to do that.
Yep.
And it probably didn't feel fake.
No.
That's awesome.
It was very, very, it was so real.
Yeah.
And then there was another time we sat down, and he was talking to me in the office one day, and he was giving me advice on struggles that he was having and some of the things that he saw with those that he was in command of. And I'm not going to go deep into it, but I remember sitting there listening to him speak to me, and he was getting ready to retire. And it was, looking back on it, he was telling me this because he was basically saying, "Look, I tell you I'm okay, but I'm not. I've got things I'm carrying around with me, and you need to figure out how to help us." Dude, that's something I've never forgotten. So cool.
Showed a little vulnerability, huh?
Yeah, but it was a leadership moment.
Yeah.
Because it was just a cool thing.
Well, I think it's great when somebody raises their hand and goes, "Hey, I need help sometimes too."
Yeah, I know.
If you need it, you need to speak up.
And that's good leadership.
It is. It's a great example.
Yes, that's great leadership. I mean, we can't do this on our own.
Yeah.
And being a leader, it can get really lonely. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah.
But it's just, you got to have help, or you're gonna.
Yeah, I would question anybody that was the head of any organization that said, "Hey, I have all the answers all the time."
Yeah, that's bad.
That's actually, yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, unless their name's Jesus.
Yeah, he got that.
Then you're good.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and so that kind of goes to, I think what we're both describing is people that knew how to do the little things well.
Yeah.
And they understood the impact of those little things they had over the long term. So you explain this concept using the energy from dominoes.
Okay.
Right? Just tell that story briefly. Like, explain that concept, and let's talk about why the dominoes theory of leadership decisions is important.
Yeah. So the guy, there's a book I read years ago that I based this chapter off of. His name was Timothy Keller. The last name I got right. So his last name was Keller, and he talks about in his book about how a single domino is capable of toppling over another domino that is only 50% bigger than itself. So imagine this: if I have a 1-inch domino, and then I have an 1.5 inch domino, and then a 2-inch and 2.5 and 3 and blah, 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 all the way up, it doesn't take long, and we're looking at a domino that's as big as Everest, right? And what the research shows is that me knocking over the 1-inch domino into the 1.5-inch domino will knock over the 2 and the 2.5 and the 3 and the 3.5 all the way down the line.
You're messing your math up a little bit, but we
Am
get the
I?
point. Yeah.
You're right. I am.
It's all good though.
I'm not a mathologist.
Yeah, we should stick to the abstract, less specific.
Let's just do abstract. I'm better at that than I am with specific. But you get my point.
50% bigger each time.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. So this idea then is that it's every time it hits, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So the point is that leaders can make a small move. And if they do it correctly, it gains in momentum really, really quickly over time, right? And then next thing you know, you're knocking over a domino. It's as big as Everest.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take that much time for it to happen.
Yep.
So good leaders then are the ones that are able to get things moving in the right direction, and then it ends up building up to something quite large.
Well, allowing momentum to carry the day towards the objective.
Yes.
Yeah. I think when you think of this concept, so the devil probably wants to tell you, hey, don't mess that up. Just think of how bad it's going to be when you get to the Everest-sized domino if you mess this up.
Yes.
Jesus, on the other hand, here comes the airplane.
Yep.
Semi-pros. We're semi-pros. There's an airplane flying over the house, boys.
That's right.
Jesus, on the contrary, says, hey, do the little things, because just think of the kingdom impact you can have if you do the little things.
That's right.
So how do we listen to Jesus's voice and not hear the devil's voice that would paralyze us from accepting a leadership opportunity?
That's great. So really quick, let me just say this, is that going back to what you said, that and I want to give Jesus some love here because he gives it to us all the time. But when we talked about this idea of the dominoes, and I'm going to get back to your question here in a minute, it's interesting because it's when he said that faith that is as small as a mustard seed can actually grow into something quite large, right? So when we think about this and we have that small little start, and if we keep on the right track, knowing that it's not going to go perfectly every time, but we have that right track, it can grow into something quite large. Now, this gets back to this idea of how do you know the difference between Jesus' voice and Satan's voice?
Yes.
The one thing that I would say is this is really, really difficult, right? But if your heart is correct and your heart is in the right space and you want to create something where you're giving it away to other people, and then Jesus isn't going to be mad at you for doing that, right? He's going to want you to do that because that's what his whole life was about, was giving himself away. So this idea is of us giving ourselves away. So if we're listening to him and he's saying, go in this direction, we just keep believing and trusting and going in that direction. Now, with that being said, there's plenty of times, and it's happened to me recently, where I sit back and go, what am I doing? Why am I trying so hard to make this happen? But I can't let it go. And it's like, I know that it's something that God's laid on my heart. And then I start realizing in those times of doubt, I'm like, well, that's it. I'm done with all this. Yeah. It has to be the enemy. It cannot be him.
Of course. And I think you have a lot of different dominoes you can push over.
Yeah.
And Satan's like, don't push the wrong one.
Yep, that's right.
And so we get paralyzed and we just sit and wait.
Yeah, which is terrible. So in my journal here recently, and it's in Luke, I'm not going to get the exact passage right, but I know it's in Luke. And it talks about the master who gave his money to his servants. And then he goes through and talks to different servants about what they did with that money. And it talks about two that did something with the money and that increased the value of what they had. And the master says, "Good job to my to good and faithful servant. I will give you more." Right. And then there's one where he's like, yeah, I didn't do anything with your money because you kind of scare me a little bit.
I buried it in the sand.
Yeah, I buried it in the sand and didn't do anything with it.
But look, here's your original investment.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, that's not what I wanted you to do. So this idea then is that we should be trying to grow throughout our lives, taking on more things. And again, we're creating for the world and we're leaving something behind. And I think that's what we need to do.
Well, and I think there is a clash between heavenly forgiveness and earthly consequences.
For sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think we get paralyzed by the earthly consequences when the reality is at any moment, Jesus can step in and stop the momentum of any domino you push over.
That's true too. Yeah.
100%. And he can go, that was the wrong one.
Yep.
Nice try.
Yep.
I forgive you. Here, I'll pick these back up. Now go push the right one. Right. As long as our hearts and our ears are open to that.
Yeah.
So it's that heavenly forgiveness that should give you the confidence to take a step.
Yes.
Right. Just go push one down.
Yep.
And if your heart's truly aligned with his, it'll be the right one.
Yes.
If your heart's truly aligned with his and it's not the right one, he's going to fix it.
Yeah. And as we've said on this podcast before, if you are doing something and you have the right intentions, that you're trying to do something good for the world around you, you can bet that you will fail from time to time. But failure actually is not what we many times think it is. In fact, if you're not failing, I would argue, from time to time, then you're not trying hard enough, right? So if I'm not hurting someone or really screwing something up terrible, then failure is actually not a bad thing. And in the process, I can learn a lot from that failure. And then because you don't learn anything from your wins, you learn a lot from failure. What can I do better next time? And then you go back at it again.
Yeah. Was it Thomas Edison that was talking about inventing the light bulb?
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, what'd you learn from failing so many times, failed 100 times.
Yeah, it was like 1,000,000 times or something like that.
Well, I learned 100 ways not to make a light bulb.
Yeah, that's right.
Had he quit at any number of steps in there, we would still be, we would be recording this podcast over candlelight.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Like that.
I don't think we'd be recording anything.
No.
Yeah, but it's a great concept. Like, and I'll tell people that I work with all the time, hey, fail forward. Don't be afraid to fail. Like, these are all buzzwords that we'll say in our organizations, but it's true. Really what you're telling people is don't be afraid to take risks.
Yeah, you
can't
have to
grow.
take risks.
You can't grow unless you take risks.
You have to.
So when the devil is trying to paralyze you and make you not make a decision, you got to go, no, I'm going to leap.
Yes.
I'm going to believe that God is guiding my ways, and I'm going to take a shot. Yeah. And if it's the wrong one, I'm going to bob and weave, and I'm going to backtrack a little bit, and I'm going to take another shot, but I'm going to keep shooting.
Yeah. And if you think about this idea of free will, we all have free will, and God gave us free will, and he had to take a great risk in allowing us to have free will.
Oh yeah.
Because of the fact that we're human beings. And so he has to give us free will, but yet we have the ability to turn that in a bad direction.
Yeah. True.
So, yeah.
Yeah. In John 10:14-18, this is Jesus talking. He says, I'm the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me, just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father. And I lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen. I must bring them also. They too will listen to my voice, and there shall be one flock and one shepherd. The reason my Father loves me is that I lay down my life only to take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down of my own accord. I have authority to lay it down and authority to take it up again. This command I receive from my Father. Again, that's John 10:14-18. Mm-hmm. So he's really talking about leading from God's own heart.
Yes.
There. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's all about sacrifice, right? Self-sacrifice for the good of the flock. So as a flawed man, Mike, how do we lead from God's very heart?
Great. So to go back to, first of all, to Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus actually was leading under authority.
Of course.
So he was leading under the Father's authority.
Yes.
Right. And so then if we look at this from that standpoint, that means that we should learn something from this. And in order for us to follow God's heart, we have to understand that he is the authority. So you got to submit. So you got to submit.
Yeah.
And the thing that we're kind of talking about this in a way that God, so we talked a little bit ago about how as a leader, you want to help the people that are the experts to understand the purpose so they get in the right direction to help give something good for those that we're trying to serve. So they, in a way, they're under that authority, right? And we're the same. And so Jesus is telling us the same thing. We're under the authority of God and he trusts us to go out and do things. And I know that's not a popular thing to say these days, but it's true. He wants to be able to trust us. And that means then that if I'm able to tie back to his authority and understand what it is he wants for the planet and for the people around me, then I can create really cool things. And that goes back to that craftsman piece again, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're getting at. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And I mean, I just feel like the key there too is like, you got to understand the concept of laying down your life for your people.
Yes.
Right. That means you serve them, not the other way around. When I was a squadron commander in the Air Force, I'm not sure I did this well. I tried to, but in all of my staff meetings, I wanted information presented to me in one of three categories. Either this is for information, meaning you're just telling me to give me a heads up. Mm-hmm. You wanted me to make a decision, or you wanted me to take action. Mm-hmm. You know, I never once tried to, well, I probably did it, but I didn't want to ever go into these meetings, and I didn't want the vibe to be, how are you all serving me?
Yeah, that's right.
When I was pulling information out of all the different shops that I was supposed to be leading, I wanted them to tell me how I could help them.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think that's what Jesus does.
He does.
Yeah, totally.
And it's crazy to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a concept that we know in the executive environment. How can we apply that to our families? That's the next thing.
Yeah.
Because I want to lead them well. I want to lead them better than I do my workplace, for sure.
Yeah. So I think it's the same thing if you think about this, everything that we're talking about is really actually helping other people grow.
Right. You might as well pair this with servant.
Yeah, you might. Yeah. That was actually the reason why I did it the way I did it, because they go together. But
yeah, of course.
But the point is that we want to help other people grow, and you can't help people grow if you're doing their job for them or forcing them to do something. This is what Jesus does with us.
Yeah.
So think about that. He wants us to grow too. He's not going to necessarily do it for you. But he's going to come along with you just like a good leader would do, because he's trying to help you. So how do you do that with your family? It's the same thing. You come along with them, you give them responsibility, and you help them as best you possibly can, but you can't force them. And there's actually research on this. The more I force, the more they just want to fight back.
Yeah.
And that's the way human beings are. So you want to be able to work with them. You know, I was sitting here thinking, you were talking about in the craftsman chapter, you were talking about the guy that showed up where his dad always made him hold the flashlight or wouldn't explain what he was doing. And
or he'd get impatient and take the tool out of his hand.
Yes. And he still struggles with that. So I was thinking about you this morning. I was thinking about it when I was thinking about your story that you told, and I was like, that's why it's important for us just to slow down. And I got it. Like, I want to get the job done. But there's times when you just got to slow down, let your kids try and help them out and be there for them, because that's how they grow and get stronger over time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about especially like in that environment where we're not on an assembly line punching out numbers and we're trying to cut costs here. We're trying to, build a legacy, build something that's lasting.
Legacy.
And it's that connection piece. I just love how you can lead through projects like that.
Absolutely.
That will create connection.
Yep.
So the other thing that kind of dawned on me too, like, so when you think about Jesus, first thing he did was laid down his life for us, and we can do that too.
Yes.
For the people we care about.
Yes.
The next step for us is to actually accept his forgiveness, because the devil's going to make you dwell on that, which is going to paralyze you as a leader for sure.
Man.
So just accept it. And then you get to leave that junk behind and move on. And here's the key. You can move forward with his authority, which he granted you.
Yes.
That's power, man.
It's complete power.
Yeah. If that's not manly, I don't know what is.
That's right. So to go back to, man, what did you say? You said, well, see, there it goes.
What you mean just now?
Yeah.
So it's sacrifice your life for the people that you serve,
Yep.
Accept forgiveness, leave that garbage in the past, and move forward with his authority.
Yeah. So accepting his forgiveness there are so many people that are afraid to accept the forgiveness that that Jesus wants to give us.
That he already granted you.
He already granted you. And the thing that I just really want people to understand is you don't have to work for his forgiveness. You do not have to work for his forgiveness. You don't have to work for it. It's something that he will give you. All you have to do is accept it. So the more that we don't accept his forgiveness that he wants to give us, we're torturing ourselves. We're causing more pain for ourselves. And again, it's one of the, like you said, you have to let him have it. Let him take it, and then you can move on and you grow as a human being, and you can take on more things. And as you call it, power. And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good, man. I mean, thank God if all the mistakes I've made in my life, even especially in opportunities to lead, if I had dwelled on those and didn't learn from my mistakes, I would be totally paralyzed.
And if you think about it, does God want you to be paralyzed?
No.
But somebody else does. The enemy wants you to be paralyzed.
Right.
So you have to accept his forgiveness. You have to realize that you can't work for his forgiveness, for his salvation. He just wants to give it to you. It's a gift.
Yeah. Yeah. So good.
It's mind blowing, man.
All right. So here's a problem I've come across. I just got a quick story.
Okay.
Thinking about leadership stories since I was talking about staff meetings in the Air Force. So my one big leadership opportunity in the Air Force was leading an operational support squadron. And I grew up my whole career in flying squadrons. So all of the people in those units were air crew. Mm. Air crew talks to each other a certain way.
Yep. I bet. Yeah.
It's a little gruff.
Yeah.
We've got a very direct approach because, normally in the plane, you're moving in 3 dimensions and you can't stop, right?
Yep.
So everything, you're taught to move quick, you're taught to communicate quick. And we all have thick skin so that you can critique each other and grow, right? Mm-hmm. That's just the culture. So I get in this new squadron and I've got a handful of pilots and like 60 or 70 other career fields. All right. And I walk into this room. I'm not going to say what they were, what career field they were. And I start talking to them like pilots and loadmasters, like air crew. And they looked at me like I had 2 heads.
Yeah.
And it was like, how dare you speak to me that way?
Yeah.
Like we took a survey, a squadron survey to determine like how we were doing as a unit. And I got like called out by name, like worst leader in the world. This guy's terrible. Don't ever want to work with this man again. And I quickly realized that I just couldn't talk to them the same way I did others.
Yeah.
And part of me wanted to go in there and be like, to explain myself, like, hey, this is just how I communicate. It's nothing personal, and I came to the realization that if I did that, that would be me making them adjust their style to me.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was my job as the leader. It was incumbent on me to adjust my style for them. Mm-hmm. And so I've adapted that as kind of my, one of my big tenets of what an effective leader is. And I don't know, there's no better demonstration of that than within my own family.
Yeah.
Right. I got 4 kids. They're all completely different. It's amazing that they can come from the same 2 parents.
I hear you.
Be raised in the same house and be completely different. Until I realized that and understood that I had to treat them all a little bit differently and talk to them all a little bit differently, I was kind of ineffective as a dad.
Yeah.
So that's a concept I've adapted. What do you think of that? Have you experienced that too?
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I have 2 girls, and dealing with both of them, I have to deal with them completely different. And speak to them in a different way and so forth, because one of them responds differently when I say it this way, and the other one gets really mad. Right. And so, or that's just an example, but, I mean, you have to adapt, and this is the greatest. This is another, I know I'm going back to the days of strength conditioning, but this is a good way of explaining it. I remember we would do, I know this for a fact. We used to do, a preseason testing to see how strong. So we'd be working out for the whole summer, and then what we would do is check their strength to see how much stronger they were, faster they were than when we started. And what that is that is a way for me to find out, did the programming that I wrote work for them? And did they actually put the work in over the summer? And one day, I remember a hockey player was trying to squat more weight than he's ever squatted before, and he missed it. He got up and he punched a hole in the wall. Okay.
Did he break his hand?
No, but he was mad.
Oh, good.
Now, a couple of years later, I was working with the women's volleyball team, and we were doing squat testing. And her name was Olympia. I still remember it. She missed her squat and couldn't get it. And she stood up and started crying. So there's your example. There's times we just have to lead differently based off of who is in front of us. And what I can tell you is both of them wanted to do a good job for me, and they didn't, and it upset them. One of them punched the wall, the other one started crying. So that's an example.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Okay. I mean, I think it's important too. Like when you look at how to lead within your family too, I just want to give a shout out to our wives and how important their approach is.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone at one of my kids in a way, and my wife, who is way better at calmly explaining a different perspective than I am.
For sure.
I just get, I don't know, super punchy and I'm very direct. She has taught me over the years how to change my approach.
Yes.
And so the only reason I bring that up is it is so important to have people who are on co-plane with you to hold you accountable.
Yes.
Like it's absolutely necessary.
Yes.
Like every president has a vice president. In every organization there's a lead and a co-lead.
Yeah. So your wife, 360-degree leadership, she's leading across, she's taking things that she knows that you just haven't quite figured out yet. And she's bringing them to the table to help you grow.
Yeah.
And you do the same for her.
I do. Probably not as often as she does for me.
Well, you are special, but in a different way.
So there was one time when my son was like 2. James, love this boy. He was a bit of a mama's boy growing up.
Yeah.
And very emotionally needy.
Yeah.
And I looked at Sarah one day and I go, you got to stop treating him like a baby.
Yeah.
If you keep doing that, I'm going to initiate phase 2 of his training early. And she goes, well, what's phase 2 of his training? I go, that's where I just walk around and push him down all the time.
You can't do that.
You got to toughen your boys up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, at some point,
yeah,
you gotta pull the boys away from their mamas and teach them how to be men.
I got plenty of stories about my dad with that whole situation.
Oh, gosh, for the record, I never pushed my son down just to prove a point.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Sarah and I laugh about that all the time.
Yeah, that's funny.
Stop babying that boy. So anyway,
that's good.
Yeah. Well, so one of the things we do in our groups, Mike, is we actually compile some lists.
Yeah.
And I love this exercise because when I do it in the church, we'll use a whiteboard that's in one of the common classrooms. And I just chuckle because we'll put our lists up there of things traits of an effective leader. And I always leave it in there because I'm just so curious what somebody that comes behind us thinks about what we put up there.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever told me, but one of these days I'm going to find out. So this group, my last group, had some pretty good input. So I'm just going to throw a couple of these out there and get your reaction and see what you think.
Okay.
All right. So again, traits of an effective leader. Okay. Qualities of a good leader: honest, integrity, selfless, servant leader. Okay. What do you think of those? Love them. Yeah.
So those are all attributes.
Attributes. Yeah.
Attributes that we can get better. And one of the things that I'm somewhat speaking about in this new thing I'm working on, with tongue in cheek, is our superpower. It would be free will, faith, love, and then another one would be the ability to change, the ability. So
adaptable.
So adaptability.
Yeah. Okay, I like it.
So if you look at those concepts there, the more that we use free will and faith and love and understand that we can adapt over time, those become more lined up with the heart of Christ.
Yep.
So then that means that we're living under His authority, and that's how we improve in those areas.
Yeah. What's interesting about this is some of these words are actually contrary to each other. So like one guy said firm, stern, and confident.
Yeah.
Okay. Those all seem pretty good. But then on the other hand, open to new ideas, good listeners, compassionate and empathetic. You would think somebody that's firm, stern, and confident wouldn't display those other qualities. And what I like to tell people is, they know when to switch it up.
That's the idea. So Jesus called the Pharisees whitewashed tombs once.
Sure did.
He's pretty firm.
He also whipped people in a temple for turning it into a den of thieves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
flip tables.
Yes. So that means then that good leadership means there are times when you just got to, call it as it is. Like, hey man, this is not the way this is not what we had planned, or you shouldn't have done it that way. And those are times that we have to do that. And the goal then is that hopefully you give them the right information and they make the change. We do it with our kids all the time.
Oh yeah.
Right. So leadership is not always just about these really fluffy, happy go lucky terms. It's sometimes we got to be firm and we got to stand up for what we believe.
Oh yeah. It's a great example. Talk to your kids.
Yeah.
When they mess up, I'm not a huge fan of the whole gentle parenting concept, but you don't always have to scream at your children. However, if they're running towards the street with a car coming, you can't be gentle.
Yeah, no, you can't.
No, you got to get their attention.
That's right.
So there is a time and place for every tool. I guess what I'm getting at is you got to work on all of these tools because you can't hit every screwdriver with a hammer or every screw with a hammer. You need the right tool for the job, and you need to know when to switch.
That's right. And one of the things that we're talking about with being firm too, I think this has been a major problem for people that are Christians.
Yeah.
We're not firm. We're not strong and say, no, that is not the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
Because this goes back again to that Jesus never said he was religion. He's talking about truth and it's the way to find life. And so if we need to be stronger and we need to stand up and say, no, that's not the way it goes.
Yeah. It's not what I stand for.
And I love this because I just heard this the other day on, I can't remember where I heard it, but in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says that we're supposed to turn the other cheek, right? But he doesn't say anything about if someone hits your family or does something against them to turn the other cheek.
Right.
Right. So there are times when it's time for us to stand up and say, that's not okay. That's not okay. And we just don't do that enough as Christians.
Sure. Yeah.
In my opinion.
I mean, there's standards for the way we live.
Yes.
Outlined throughout Scripture.
Yes. And everybody, I don't care, are showing what their standards are. Why don't we?
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
And unashamed, unapologetic too.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's tactful ways that you can do that too.
For sure.
You don't have to throw it in people's faces.
That's right.
Yeah. And you'll hear that sometimes when people say like, oh, you're not supposed to judge. You're not my judge. Kind of.
Yeah. There's some interesting things on that we could talk about too.
Well, we don't condemn.
Yeah, that's condemn.
We don't have that ability, but we are supposed to hold each other to account, especially if between believers, right?
That's right.
That's all good. So some other words that these guys came up with, decisive, kind, clear communicator, hard worker. Love that one. Responsive.
Yes.
That was cool. Like
it's
maneuverable, good. Adaptable, organized.
Yep. Oh, well, then I'm not a leader.
It's one aspect. Okay. You know how to outsource.
That's right.
Put it that way. Which is the next word, resourceful.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Creative. We just talked about creativity last week. Experienced and seasoned. This is my throw out to aviation guys. Humble, credible, and approachable.
That's good.
I like that. Willing to do the things they ask others to do. Oh man, I'm big on this one.
Yeah, me too.
I'm huge on this one. Yeah, it's tough for me to yell at my kids from the couch to go pick up after themselves while I'm sitting on the couch.
Yes.
Right? Hey, quit being lazy while I sit in the couch.
Yep.
Not a good idea. Or like hitting my kids to tell them not to hit when they were little.
Yeah, exactly.
That was always funny.
Yeah.
Willing to lead. Yeah. Somebody said that. That was kind of a surprise.
That's actually really, really good.
Super profound, right?
That's pretty profound.
I like that. All right. This was one of my favorites. Inspirational.
Yes.
I can't stand leaders that force people up the hill at gunpoint. I want to follow someone up the hill.
That's it, man.
Use a metaphor.
Yeah. Is that from the same guy?
It's just the group.
Man, that's
I don't remember
really, really good.
Yeah. Empathetic and merciful.
Yep.
That's definitely something God would want. Somebody who's just, fearless and bold, open to new ideas. Somebody who's driven. One of my military guys said tactical and strategic.
Yeah.
So they can think small level and big picture.
Yep.
Right. Focused on the why, not the how. I think we've clubbed that one over the head. That's a huge concept for us.
It's really good.
Respectful. And then the last one's probably my favorite. Someone willing to wash feet.
Yep.
So good list, guys.
Yep.
That's pretty good. And there's many more adjectives that we can throw up here. The point being, like, it's impossible to be all those things at the same time. So what I encourage the guys to do is take that list after we make it and pray over it.
Yeah.
And offer it up to God. Say, hey, identify where I'm falling short and help me fix it.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. That's really good stuff. I love all of it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. I like it. The creativity and coming up with those lists. And it is funny. It's like, it's a weird elementary school assignment to be like, okay, throw words out. I'll put them up on the board. And the guys get into it.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because they want to know.
Yeah.
They're eager to share their ideas too.
They want to share their ideas, and they also they're being leaders themselves.
Exactly
and then they're letting someone else lead them as well.
Yep. So, all right. You want to get into some practical?
Yeah.
All right. So we just went over their big list. What would you say are the two for you? Because you and I are different. I want to hear your thoughts on this. What are two qualities about you that make you an effective leader?
Oof. I
put you on the spot, man.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I honestly think that serving my staff is by far the most important thing I do. And doing everything I can to make sure that whatever they're coming up with, if it's a good idea and we're heading in the right direction, to fight and to figure out ways to make it happen. I think service is definitely the top of the list. And then, man, for me, I think also the ability, I hope this fits, is to create. So I'm a big picture guy, and I always am thinking about the big picture. So I love to be able to create. Here's the idea I want us to get to, take it to the staff and say, okay, you have this role on this idea, and I want you to try to take off and figure out how to get there.
Yeah.
I love doing that kind
I like
of stuff.
that. Yeah. That's why we get along, because I like the other part. I like the
exactly
tactical
right.
part. So.
Yep.
So cool. I have two that are kind of similar. Servant's heart is the first one. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge believer in servant leadership. It's one of the things I try and talk about the most. And then I have a real desire to roll up my sleeves and get to work with the people I lead.
Yes.
Yeah, like I love being in the trenches.
I do too. The problem is my job's gotten to the point where I can hardly ever do that anymore. But but I wish I could.
I'll bet you do that in your house, though.
Oh, I do for the house. Yeah,
yeah,
for
and
sure.
You certainly do in your ministry.
Yeah, and I don't do it very much. Like in the house when everybody's cleaning the house, I'm just sitting there, drinking.
Yeah,
or eating popcorn.
Yeah, me too. And like telling them how to do it better.
That's right.
From my lounger.
It's we're leaders. You know
good.
What I mean? Yeah.
All right. So speaking of which, let's be honest with our listeners. What are two things you can improve to become a more effective leader?
Oof. Boy, I feel like you should go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah,
I'll go first. Okay. Here's one of mine, guys. I am a very critical guy. All right. So I've shared this with my groups a couple times. I tend to walk around my house with my family or in my workplace or whatever, and I will notice all the ways that people failed me. And I actually attribute, like, my kids leave their socks on the floor. When I see that, I get into my head and I go, they did that to me.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
It's absolutely terrible thinking. It's wrong thinking. It's the devil for sure. Mm-hmm. So I guess my point is I tend to focus on the bad instead of the good.
Okay.
So ways I can improve. I try very hard to remember the 90%. We'll even go higher. The 99% of the time that the people I work with or live with bless me.
Yeah.
And stop focusing on the 1% where they fail me.
That's really good.
So that's one. I also need to remember more often that there's more than one way to solve a problem.
Yeah.
So, I have a hard time letting go of the how. Mm-hmm. Right. My oldest daughter, Maddie, reminds me this all the time. Dad, there's more than one way to solve a problem. And she's right.
Yeah.
And so I'm working very hard to relinquish control over the tactical and letting others shine.
That's good.
Yeah. Which is funny because that's one of the things I respected most about some of the leaders in my career. So anyway, there's my 2 that I'm working on.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So my 2 are, I know this may come as a surprise, but confidence. Sometimes, I struggle with, man, are we doing the right thing? Am I leading the way I should? Those kinds of things. So confidence is one of mine. And then the other one is just being more understanding. When, we're not getting where we want to go and it's not happening quick enough and those kinds of things. I think those are 2 of my, I know for a fact those are 2 issues that I struggle with.
Well, I'll take this opportunity to remind you how excellent you are. So,
well, I feel the same way about you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
I do.
Thanks. So I encourage everyone listening to think about that. What are 2 your strengths, things that you can utilize as major tools moving forward? But don't forget to kind of analyze where you're falling short. We can all do it. If you can't come up with a list, go ask the people who are the closest to you. Ask for honest feedback. It's very effective.
Yeah.
It might hurt for a second. And then you'll realize that they care about you and they're only giving you that feedback because they love you.
That's
and maybe
right.
you can grow from it. But don't avoid it, right?
Right.
Effective leaders certainly don't avoid their weaknesses. They look to identify them and find a way to shore them up. So be that guy instead. So anyway, all right. So what else you got, man? Did I miss anything when it comes to talking about leadership?
No, I think we did a pretty good job of covering down on it. One of the things I just want to say, and maybe we could use this to close up with and then kind of head in the right direction to let everybody loose here. But John Quincy Adams had a quote that said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader."
Wow. I
love that. And that's really what we're getting at. Like understanding that we are under the authority of God, that there is there's a great responsibility with that. And then he inspires us to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more. And then as leaders, then we should be doing the same thing. So the people on our staff, the people around us, we should do everything we can to create an environment where we're inspiring them and helping them, dream more. And what can I do? The expertise that I have, how can I make this better? And then if I don't have the expertise, what can I learn that then I can dream bigger and, and all that kind of stuff. And then you do more and you become more. And then that's the key to being a leader.
Sounds like pushing over a domino, my man.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's pushing over a domino.
I love it. Yeah.
And speaking of dominoes, I know I'm throwing this in at the last minute, but that's another thing that this guy, what's his name again? Keller.
Yes.
Keller talks about.
We are unsalvageable.
Yeah, it's bad. But hey, we're admitting it, which means we're good leaders?
I guess.
I don't know.
We need a producer that can
I agree.
Keep us under control.
Yeah, I agree. But the other thing that he talks about is that they did a study one time where they knocked over it's like almost 5 million dominoes to see how much energy that just what it would produce after pushing one domino, which takes no energy, and then how much it would produce by the time all the dominoes were knocked over. And they equated it to a man doing something like 545 push-ups, right? So this is the idea. This is what we're trying to get at, is that you push over one domino and that gains more speed and more strength and more power over time. And then suddenly you're blessing more and more people in that process. And I think that's what we're looking at here.
Yeah. Yeah. And remember the original thought, guys. It's leading teams of imperfect people towards a common goal.
Yes.
Or purpose.
That's right. And you're not perfect either.
Correct. It's imperfect leaders leading imperfect people towards a common purpose.
That's it. Yeah.
And remember what our purpose is, guys. It's to usher heaven to earth.
That's it.
So let's get after it.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good job, man.
Okay.
I like the wrap up.
That was good.
Yeah. I'll just add, remember the reason for the season, guys. I know that's like a cliche, but it really is true. Gifts and Christmas trees, all that stuff is fun, but it's not why we celebrate this season.
Yes.
So remember that. Keep working on your purpose statements, guys. Keep trying to understand why God put you on this earth and how you can affect ushering heaven to earth. It's time.
And we serve an amazing, amazing God.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely.
So good.
Start pushing some dominoes, buddy.
Let's do it, man.
All right. I love you. Thanks thanks for rapping with me this week.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Till next time, guys. It's time to say goodbye, Mike.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Access.
So last time you were here, I go, hell, we'll do it after, and then we didn't do it.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I'll show it to you.
So basically, it's your fault.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you for taking responsibility.
Look, man, it's usually my fault.
Okay. I'm going to need you to say that out loud one more time.
No.
It's usually what?
Nothing.
Okay. Come on. Thought I had you trapped.
Nope.
All right. You ready to go?
I am ready.
You going to pray first?
I am.
I don't know why I ask you that. That's your job.
I love doing that part.
All right. Go ahead.